family. So how does this beautiful girl, she's 25, Shanquella, end up dead at a luxury resort in Mexico? Okay, try to put the words in Mexico out of your head, because the crime that's happening right now is not her murder in Mexico. It's happening right here, I believe, in North Carolina, where the perps are hiding out.
And that is exactly what Nancy Grace is doing right there. She is calling out the authorities involved, the investigative individuals involved in North Carolina and the North Carolina FBI and so forth. She's saying the crime is the lack of progress in this case. That is what she's saying. She is exposing and calling out the lack of progress in the criminal investigation of Shanquella Robinson. She's saying, what I find problematic is, it was bad enough when this tragedy happened. The Mexican authorities tried to minimize the situation. They tried to claim it was an accident, try to wrap it up in a bow, and basically say it was alcohol poisoning, like they have historically done in a lot of femicide cases in Mexico. Not just with this American, but a lot of Mexican women who have been brutalized and unalived in Mexico. They always try to claim it's alcohol poisoning. That already was an injustice to the Robinsons family. Now they have to face another injustice with the lack of progress in America, in North Carolina, with the criminal investigation involved, because now they have to deal with not getting information, the lack of progress. This is not similar to the Idaho 4 case. The Idaho 4 case, they don't even have a suspect. They're scrambling to try to figure out what's going on. This case, we actually have the perpetrator, allegedly. We have her on camera with individuals recording, and we can hear their voices, and there's witnesses that can identify who was in the video. There's records from the villa showing they signed in. Their names are on everybody who was in that villa was signed into that the records, and they have their passport information. They have so much information in this case. So why is it taking this long? Which is the only thing I can think of, is they're trying to look for some of those Cabo 4 people who fled, y'all. And they probably are trying to just do this thorough investigation to try to see who they can incriminate or who they can find who has some type of responsibility or culpable responsibility in this case, in addition to the person identified on the warrant. They're just trying to do their whole entire investigation of all the Cabo 6 instead of just narrowing it down to the one person on the Mexican arrest warrant. That's the only thing I can think of, because I'm like, what's taking so long? I'm with Nancy Grace. Okay, it was already an injustice in Mexico. Now there's an injustice going on with the lack of progress in this criminal investigation, in my opinion. I'm with Nancy on this.
Here in the U.S. are doing nothing to get justice in the murder of this 25-year-old beauty. And when I say beauty, I mean beauty on the inside and the out. You know how hard that is to find somebody who's really gorgeous on the outside, and on the inside, they're just as gorgeous. Okay. Why is the mother, Shanquella's mother, why does she have to send her other daughter to be with us today? Because she is so upset she can barely speak.
Wow, did you guys hear that? Dang, this broke me down when Nancy Grace said Salamandra had to send her daughter because she was so upset that she could barely speak. And I don't even think upset is the right word. And one of the things she's really upset with is the lack of progress and the lack of information she's getting. They have already got the turnaround repeatedly from Mexico authorities, and they were advised initially during this case, before it got publicized, they told the Robinson family to get their own investigator, to hire an investigator to find out what happened. So they already been disrespected and had injustices as it related to the Mexican officials. But now it's causing a more grave discomfort in the family, especially the mother at this point. She's literally breaking down, guys. She can no longer sustain herself and keep on with the fight because it's as if the U.S. officials are dragging their feet. It is so sad that she literally had to send her daughter. And this is not the first time I heard this. Tequila talked about this on the platform with NC Beat when she did her interview. Just I think last week she did an interview, or 2 weeks ago, whatever. She did an interview recently with NC Beat, and she talked about the same thing, that her mother is upset and can barely speak and can't even do interviews anymore. She's rejecting interviews because she's so broke down. And it's due to the lack of progress in the criminal investigation. And the other problem is we got these YouTubers and people out here trying to get money, allegedly, and they're making up these lies about arrests. And then when the parent mother goes and checks in with the FBI, finds out it, it's not true, they can't disclose, then she's back to an emotional state again. Because it's like you gave her a piece of hope and then the hope gets ripped away. It's so sad, man, to hear her say that, guys. Man, mom is so upset she can barely speak.
Why are we dropping the ball? Why don't we just go up to Lady Justice and rip away her shield and take her sword and put it in the Dixie dumpster? We are not seeking justice for this girl. And it will be a day that hell freezes over, that I stop seeking justice for Shanquella Robinson.
And see, that's why I like Nancy Grace. Did you hear? She said it'll be where hell freezes over before she stops seeking justice for Shanquella. This woman, no matter what people say about her past, she's fighting for Shanquella, and she has a big platform, and she's pretty powerful in her platform, and she gets a lot of media. And that the fact that she cares enough to go through all ends to get justice for Shanquella, I take my hat off to her. And I'm really happy to see that she's joined in on this fight, and she's using her big influential platform to advocate. That right there, when I heard her say that, it just made me have a new level of respect for her, because Shanquella is a African-American young lady, and a lot of times our cases don't get the publicity on the major platforms that we deserve. And for this woman to take on this case and really be willing to sacrifice it all for Shanquella until she sees justice, that's major, guys, because we have someone on this case that's advocating, who's powerful, who has a major influence. And people may think, oh, she's just a little platform, whatever. She can't influence the officials. Yes, she can. To heck, she can. Because the more people hear about it, the more exposure she's giving this case, and the more emotional and passionate she speaks about the case, the more people get involved, and the more voices get involved, and the more influence and the more change we will see. So I really admired her to say that.
I'm Nancy Grace. We are not seeking justice for this girl. And it will be a day that hell freezes over, that I stop seeking justice for Shanquella Robinson. I'm Nancy Grace.
That's powerful. Because I'm hearing a lot of bloggers, some people comment on my post saying, oh, Nancy Grace was sued, or blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Who cares? She is taking on this case, and she is showing that she cares, and she's pouring her heart out, and she is really fighting for this young lady. And I like that she has obtained some professionals, some experts, people who have actually been employed in the Office of International Affairs, different people that we heard in this live that we just heard from, that really helped give us detailed information that we need to figure out what's going on. And also the detail of more breaking down what the extradition process is, what officials are going to be involved in the arrests, which one of the experts outlined was the FBI, the U.S. Marshal, and the local police department, or they would formulate some form of a task force. So we're getting a lot more information from this platform, and she's given us 48 minutes worth, where we won't get that from ABC. We're not going to get that from Dateline or the other ones. They're going to give us a little 8-minute interview, or they're going to give the family a little 8-minute interview, but she really is going in detail. She's calling out the big guns. She's bringing in all the experts. She's bringing in physicians. She is really breaking this case down as if we're in a jury trial. Okay. She literally did the jury trial for us. So I'm giving her kudos. Okay.
This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us here at foxnation.com. How many times have I said to a jury, Kathleen, I'm bringing you all this evidence. What do you want? A video? Well, in this case, we have a video, because not only did her girlfriends that she went away to this luxe vacation just down a hop, skip, and a jump down the road from where Jennifer Aniston hangs out in Cabo all the time. Right down from that.
I'm going to trial today and I have a video.
Yeah, this girl is being murdered in her luxury suite bedroom, being beaten dead by one of her friend girls, and another person is videoing it. She is dead, and there's a video, Kathleen.
I cried when I saw that video. I posted on my personal Facebook page. But Nancy, my question is, did these folks plan this?
Exactly. One thing she points out is the video. Any prosecutor would tell you it is a prosecutor's dream to have a video, because it really gives the evidentiary process solid evidence. You have very solid direct evidence. Although a prosecutor can prove their case with circumstantial evidence and direct, it is a prosecutor's dream to have it on video. So the fact that we have a video evidence, it should be cut and dry, the evidence. This should not be, and I know they have all the hearings they got to do, but come on, y'all. Y'all should at least have an arrest, a U.S. extradition, U.S. arrest warrant, at least have that part of this done.